Hi, hello to my brothers and sisters from around the world. Thank you for tuning in. My name's David and welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the biggest problems we as everyday citizens face. There are many issues seeming to plague society in this modern age, yet we seem to overlook the root cause and or effect of most cases. Today we're going to have a look at one of the biggest problems. And guess what? It's not chemtrails, it's not New World Order. It all starts with social and cultural engineering. So what is social engineering? Well, a quick Google search will show us that it's the use of centralized planning in an attempt to manage social change and regulate the future development and behavior of a society. Furthermore, if we go to Wikipedia, we'll see social engineering is a discipline in social science that refers to efforts to influence particular attitudes and social behaviors on a large scale, whether by governments, media, or private groups, in order to produce desired characteristics in a target population. Now, this is nothing new, and as we can see, countless scholars and writers have written about this exact topic over the years. Instead of the people waking up and looking objectively at reality, unfortunately what we see is the exact opposite in modern day society. The people will block anything non-mainstream from their news feeds, from their friends lists, from their YouTube channels. They'll report anything that isn't of the norm because it does affect their reality and it challenges their belief structure, because it's hard to hear the truth. And some people frankly don't have the stomach for what's really going on. So what I have for you today is a short clip. It goes for around 1.5 minutes and just shows you the power of social engineering. Now this clip isn't anything fancy and it's been very crudely put together, but it will prove the point. The entire agenda of this particular clip is to silence independent news, to silence those that would look for the truth and share it with the masses.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish fake stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 So I have a question for you. In what democracy is free thinking dangerous? Why do mainstream media heads within different organizations always use the same keywords and or catchphrases? Seems a little bit coordinated, but who is doing the coordination? And what's this outside entity that's providing the instructions to these organizations? You see, mainstream is used for a reason. It's to dominate trend and opinion. Now, if the majority of the people believe in X, then X must be validated or accepted as truth. This form of social engineering counts on the fact that people, or should I say the human psyche, is more prone to believing something if it hears it over and over and over again by different trusted sources. Very much like echo chambers or the MKR tactics, which provided validation and credibility to the topic or point that I'm discussing right now. You see, the majority of people are more prone to believe someone in power sitting behind a big brand news name than a small independent who's actually done the research and looked at what truly is actually happening around the world. Another question. What happens when 90% of the media is controlled and owned by 6 corporations? What happens when those same corporations are operated and controlled by political ideology? What happens when the news is no longer free from bias? And what happens when the news is no longer reliable and independent? And what happens when the news is no longer trustworthy? What happens when the news simply becomes an extension arm of a political party, an ideology, or an agenda? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Fact becomes fiction, fiction becomes fact, and the news becomes nothing but a propaganda machine. So with all this said, why do we allow the media the powers of identity creation? Is it that people just follow the mainstream and majority viewpoint in fear of being isolated or shunned by their peers? Or is it the repetitive nature of hearing the same thing over and over and over again till it becomes your new normal? We need to wake up, people. This is a direct attack and a direct threat to your intellectual freedoms. This is a direct attack to your cognitive functions and ability to think for yourself. The time is now. The place is the present, and the danger is real. Rise up, wake up, and take control. God bless, and always seek truth.